Hospital porters, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order. Welcome to Panwo TV. I'm afraid I'm here for a very, very sad reason, and I've got to give you some sad news. I'm actually in this area, which was kind of like a little bit of Oxford's Bohemian Quarter, like a mini Cowley Road, which I've shown you before. Put a link in the description box. And one of the things I showed you was the inner bookshop, and this is the inner bookshop over here, but unfortunately it is the inner bookshop no longer. It's shut. Yeah, this has been here for a very, very long time. I used to live just up the road from here, and when I was a kid, it was here when I was a kid, certainly, but it's closed down, and as you see, they're just basically getting rid of it. I went in there a couple of days ago and I took out my own books because they've been stocking my two novels, my Evans Land and Rockall. I took them out, and now basically it's all cleared out. I mean, I used to go in there all the time. I mean, this is where you used to get I got most of my David Icke books from there, actually, and a lot of other kind of books a bit like that, and it sold books on, well, to quote their own advertising slogan, everything from aliens to Zen. It was basically a book shop which specialised in spiritual issues, alternative health, the paranormal, conspiratorial matters, basically everything I concentrate on her Panwo TV. And they've got these lovely emblems here, as you see, this lovely stained glass they've got with esoteric symbols in, like the Star of David there, and there's the dragon, the rainbow, more rainbows, and a whale. Is there a whale in that one? No, there's not. That's a rainbow with a field underneath it and hillsides. And you move along, there's another dragon, and at the end, what's that at the end? That is a dolphin and in a wave, and there's a yin yang symbol and everything. So so basically they're giving away a lot of stuff now. I mean, everything that's left here, help yourself to anything here, and they're just giving it away. There's some VHSs and some other books, and maybe I'll come and take something just as a souvenir. Oh, it's the end of an era. I'll just have a look inside there. You just see there was the old sales counter. There were books everywhere. There's a basement as well with books too. It goes right out to the back. It's a huge shop, and they're selling off desks for £15 and £20. Bookcases, shelves for sale. Look at that. See, 50p, £1.50. These are just throwaway prices. There's a few, but they were selling books on remainder prices a couple of weeks ago. Like 50p a copy, £1 a copy, something like that, and now they're just giving stuff away. Very, very sad. The main reason the inner bookshop closed, I mean, it's not because of a lack of interest actually in the paranormal, spiritual, conspiratorial, UFO subjects. In fact, I'd say that interest is burgeoning genuinely, which is good. That's the aim of her Panwo, and all these and other people like David Icke and everything. But the reason was it's basically internet sales. I mean, the internet market has reduced the price of books enormously. I mean, the inner bookshop didn't waste any time. Actually, they're very good. The guy who ran it, Anthony, he's an old guy. He's retired now. He didn't waste any time getting the inner bookshop into the internet market. You could order books online from there, and most of the books they sold were online sales. But the problem was, to compete, they had to reduce the profit margin to almost nothing.
I don't want to play silly games.
And it doesn't make a bookshop like this viable. Because you go to Amazon and look how cheap. You go to Amazon or something, or go to any internet site and see how cheap the books are compared to walking in and buying them off the shelves. They're below half the price on average. So I mean, I went to Blackwell's the other day, which is a great, huge bookshop in Oxford, and I just love it there. And it's just like, and I buy stuff from there just for sentimental reasons, I think, because I bought a birthday present from my dad from Blackwell's actually, and I just think it'd be a great shame if the bookshop, the institution of the bookshop, actually declines and is reduced to just browsing things online. I mean, I used to walk into that shop, into the inner bookshop, and you'd meet someone, you'd have a chat with them, you'd be able to talk to them, and it it smelt lovely with incense and everything, and you could get talking to people, and there was decorations, there was postcards, and you know, that's what you don't get from a web page where they say add to your cart. Yeah. I mean, there is some good news. I mean, there's some light at the end of the tunnel here, and that primarily is that the inner bookshop itself is not. What it's going to do is it's going to transform. It's going to become a yoga retreat. There's going to be a yoga centre here, and it's going to have a small book section. So this institution will still be a bookshop of sorts, which is nice. So I hope they'll keep that stained glass in the window. I really do. But just have a look at that mural in there. See, the inner bookshop. Look at that mural. Isn't it lovely? Because so much stuff has just been chucked away in this skip. Oh, shame. But I think that we mustn't despair. We mustn't give up. Sad things happen. Things of value are lost. But we mustn't let that make us surrender and to give up and to just give up everything for lost. We just have to keep striving. We have to keep trying. We can build a better world, and in the sense that the inner bookshop is not so much a victim of the New World Order, it's just a victim of technology. And so in a sense, it's something it's not really possible to avoid. It's the kind of tragedy that can't really be. It can't be blamed on the kind of people I normally blame it on. It's just one of these things in the universe. We can't just point at the Illuminati and say, oh, everything bad that happens is their fault. Most things are, but not everything. So, one last look there at the inner bookshop. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it an awful lot. Yeah. So thank you for watching Hapanwo TV, everyone. Hospital Porters, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order. Hospital Porters, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order. Welcome to Hapanwo TV. Right, well, I left the inner bookshop after making the first part of this film, and I went to work. And on my way back, I dropped in there again, and the freebie giveaway store was still there. So I picked up a few goodies, just looked quite interesting, and also things that I could maybe consider souvenirs of the inner bookshop. So let's have a look at some of them. I've got a book on UFOs here. I didn't look at these things very carefully when I picked them up, but it's called, it's this here. It's called Secrets of the Ages, UFOs from Inside the Earth by Brinsley Lepore Trench. It's by Panther Books. It's pretty old actually, you can tell by the quality of the pages and the way the inner picture plates are coming out. Look, they're all falling out. That tends to happen with old books. Published 1974, reprinted in 1976. So it's a pretty old book, but here's the blurb at the back. A staggering new theory on the origins of UFOs. Has the true North Pole ever been reached? Did Tolkien's Middle-earth have a factual basis? Do the mysterious polar regions conceal vast, fertile land masses? Who were the mysterious green children of wolf pits? What causes coloured snow in the Arctic regions? Why have the findings of government-sponsored scientific surveys of the ice caps been kept secret? In a groundbreaking and controversial discussion of these and other mysterious questions, one of the world's most famous UFO researchers argues that the hollow earth theory has a sound basis in fact. Even more startling, the massive tunnel systems which honeycomb our planet may well be intimately connected with the unidentified flying object phenomenon, which has perplexed, frightened and above all fascinated men throughout recorded history. Brinsley Lepore Trench has never been afraid to seek out and speak out. This is his most revelatory book to date, and it's also one of the most revolutionary studies in UFOs ever published. Right, well, this is something I've looked into actually, and I was sort of like quite keen on the idea for a time. The idea that the Earth is actually a hollow sphere. On the inside there's like a sun in the centre, and more land and things around the outside. So it's kind of like it's like a sort of like it's a convex landmass on the inside. The Gartha, things like that. I've dismissed it. I don't think it's real. It doesn't fit. It's not the way planets form and things like that. It doesn't fit. I think the people who talk about hollow Earth, and there's several different theorists going back a couple of centuries now who've spoken about it. I think what's the mistake they've made is I think they've come across underground areas of the Earth which are underground. What he said about the Earth being honeycombed is true. There are massive underground areas of the Earth, both natural and artificial. In fact, I explored the part of one of these areas a few months ago. If you remember my film, The Caves of Nottingham, on Nottingham Caves. I just explored one of only 2 caves that are open to the public, except there are hundreds of miles of caves. It appears the area underneath Nottingham, in terms of its land area, is bigger than the actual city of Nottingham itself. And I've been hearing from people who say the caves actually continue outside the city limits. So yeah, there's vast areas underground, natural in the case of some caves, and also artificial, like the Peasmore base I've been looking into as well. But there's the Earth itself is not hollow. It's a sphere. It's a solid sphere, except within the crust. It's like the atmosphere goes down to the ground level, and the ground level it's not just solid. It's like a head. It's more like a head on a pint of beer. It's sort of honeycombed for a while, then it becomes solid when you go deeper. It's interesting stuff here. I mean, though, does Tolkien's Middle Earth have a factual basis? Well, that's a big subject, but yeah, I've looked into this. I mean, the mythology that Tolkien was trying to create, the neo-mythology, he was a great student of the ancient spiritual arts, and was very interested in things like that, in ancient indigenous European mythology, Celtic, Norse, Anglo-Saxon, and he based Tolkien on a lot of Tolkien based the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit on a lot of what he learned through his studies of these ancient rites. So yeah, so there's a bit of interesting stuff in that. Who are the mysterious green children of Woolpit? Right, now I have interviewed the author of the book who brought this to light, a guy called Duncan Loon, and you go to the description box, if I remember to put it in. If not, go to the Panmo Radio blog and use the search function. Duncan Loon was on the Panmo show on Critical Mass Radio last year sometime. Basically, with these strange children turned up in a place called Woolpit, which is a town somewhere. I can't remember where exactly. But there was. It turned out there was some kind of extraterrestrials. Coloured snow, I don't know about that. Findings of government-sponsored scientific surveys of the ice caps. Well, there's many reasons why the government would want to keep things secret in the polar regions. I've written about the polar regions before. I've met a man who claims to have fought in a secret war in the polar in the south, near the South Pole in Antarctica in 1947 to 48. There's a lot of secrets down there. The area is very, very closely controlled by the government. Its very harsh environment makes it very difficult to travel anywhere anyway. What travelling is done is strictly military controlled. So there's many reasons why that might be. There's some authors have written about things like secret nuclear tests, strange experimental various other kinds of experiments, secret experiments being done there. Out of sight, out of mind. No one can see what you're doing. It's miles from anywhere. It's protected by this harsh environment, extreme cold. You can do what governments can do what they like down there. There's all kinds of things. Even the idea that Hitler actually lived there for a while on a secret base in Antarctica. Oh, after the war, Adolf Hitler escaped from Berlin at the end of World War II and actually went to Antarctica. So that's a big subject, but that could explain what this author's suggesting. Mind you, I've not read the book yet. I will read it, and if I change my mind, I'll let you know. Got another book here. Reflections on Life After Life by Dr. Raymond Moody, MD. The best-selling sequel to Life After Life. Now, I've read Life After Life. It's a classic book to do with near-death experiences. This is by Corgi Books, and it is published 1977. Again, it's quite old. It's got that fusty kind of old book smell. It's It's kind of, I can smell the inner bookshop sort of incense on this actually. The joss sticks they used to burn in there. I wonder if this one does. Let's have a sniff of this one. And that does too. Yeah, it's got that inner bookshop smell, so that's something to remind you of that book. It was probably on the shelves for a number of years. But this is very interesting. Reflections on, here we go. Yeah, it's here we go. Further investigations of life after dying. Subjects who have experienced clinical death and been revived. Now, this is a very interesting subject which I've been studying quite closely. The idea that I'm sure most of you will have probably heard about it, where people are in a situation where they're about to die. This is something I've seen many times as when I was a hospital porter. People are about to die, and if they're in hospital, there'll be attempts to resuscitate them, and you can do. And it's become very sophisticated nowadays. The kind of technology that's available to modern doctors and nurses and other staff, including porters, of course, to actually bring someone back from the point where they're about to die. Their heart stopped, and their brain, they've got no activity in their brain. Now, when they come back, and because of this technology, it's happening more and more and more nowadays. People sometimes report, wow, I had an amazing experience. I went through a tunnel towards a light at the end. I was above my body looking down, out of body experience. I went through this tunnel towards this light, and I got to the light and it was God. And I felt this overwhelming emotion of peace and love, etc. And I met up with people I knew who died, and we talked and things like that. And they often come back changed men and women. They're just sort of like, it has a profound effect on them. I mean, Danny Brinkley, for example, claims he was cured of what was essentially a psychopathic or pseudo-psychopathic personality. He talks quite openly about how he was an extremely unpleasant person. He had this near-death experience, and he transforms instantly into this really lovely spiritual man. There's several other examples. So this is really, really interesting stuff. So yeah, it seemed to me, these are little quotes here. It seemed that for a second I knew all the secrets of the ages, all the meanings of the universe, the stars, the moon, everything. He showed me all that I had done. That's God, I assume. And then he asked me if I was satisfied with my life. He was interested in love. Love was it. Off in the distance I could see a city. There were buildings. They were gleaming bright. I was told that if I went there I couldn't go back. Reflections on life after life. Dr. Moody's new vital research into near-death experiences forms the important sequel to Life After Life. Over 2,750,000 copies sold. And here we are. Yeah, Dr. Moody has continued his research into near-death experiences since the publication of Life After Life. He's now interviewed hundreds more men and women who were close to death, or actually pronounced dead. New elements not encountered in Life After Life, case histories, are recorded here for the first time as evidence of the afterlife mounts. Dr. Moody brings us one step closer to unravelling mankind's greatest mystery. What happens to us after we die? Everyone's thought about that, yeah. And interestingly, there was an article published in a newspaper just a few days ago actually, which I was going to cover on the Hapanmo blog, and I haven't yet, and I will, I promise you, at some point get round to writing about that, which claims to have proved that there is a life after death. So we'll have to see about that. Very interesting to know. What else have I got here? Ufo Magazine. The truth is out there. Yeah, these are in really good condition. Look at the dates though. March, April 1998. It's this original bi-monthly magazine published by Graham Birdsall, who died sadly, and then the magazine stopped after he died, I think 2002. And there's been nothing since then. And well, there's been other magazines, there's one just started up called UFO Truth, which is published by Gary Heseltine, police officer, former police officer and ufologist, and I strongly recommend it, not least because I write for it. Yes, I have a column in there, so please, so please get hold of that. But look at this. There was Howard Gate, former Home Secretary in new UFO probe. That's Michael Howard. Aliens in the Media, advertising. What have we got here? Timothy Good, Alien Base. I've read that book. It's really good. There's something here from in Spanish. First World UFO Forum, a major report, and an ET corpse. Blimey. Plus UFO update. UFO witness found dead. Secret Britain. RAF Rudlow Manor. A new Area 51. An alien agenda. RAF Rudloe Manor is a secret military base dating back to World War II, where it was used to store ammunition. There's said to be an intelligence service listening post there from GCHQ and various other organisations like that. On the back cover, a multimedia liftoff for UFOs. I think these are CD-ROMs, yeah. UFO crash at Roswell, Donald Schmidt. That's very good, that. I've read that. Left at Eastgate, audiobook by Peter Robertson and Larry Warren. That's very good. That's if you want to know about Rendlesham Forest incident, read that. UFO anthology, UFO sightings, UFOpedia. Redirection, visitation. See, this is in the days before the well, there was the internet, but it was wasn't what it is today, and so you had these CD-ROMs. There's another copy here. I've got three issues of this magazine. This one is, where's the date on it? January, February 1998. Great video competition. Win Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which of course is a great film by Steven Spielberg, which really sort of like brought UFOs very much into the public domain. I've got the DVD of it, of course. No DVDs in those days. UFOs over Tehran. Now Tehran is the capital of Iran, big city. I'm curious to see that because there was a major UFO incident there in 1976, which involved an aerial encounter by Lieutenant Parvez Jafari, who was a pilot of a fighter pilot who encountered this UFO. And it's really amazing. And sightings confirmed by pilots. Triangle over Cheshire. That's interesting because there's been several triangles seen over, sort of, especially in the North Country, and RAF Cosford and places like that. Free 1998 UFO calendar. Alien abductions, Area 51, flying saucer mystery, Mexican UFO history, alleged ET debris, UFO crash caught on camera. Blimey. I think that was a missile or something. I don't know. But on the back there's the multimedia adverts again. I've got a third issue here, and it's oh, it's the same one. I've got 2 copies of the same magazine. Not to worry. These are old classics. They're in excellent condition, so I'm glad I picked them up. And yeah, I mean, it was just basically help yourself down there. And anything you don't take will be, and as I was saying, you know, nothing's going to be pulped. It'll be given away to charity shops. It'll go on to remainder. It'll be given to libraries, things like that. But those magazines, I mean, it's possible those magazines would have to be pulped because I don't know if they'll take magazines. So I'm glad I rescued them if that's the case. I'm very pleased I rescued them. So a few souvenirs there from the inner bookshop. I'm very glad to have grabbed hold of them while I could. And that's it now. I'm going to have to say goodbye to that bookshop and basically miss it very badly, but realise, like I said earlier, you know, this is a setback, but it's not the end, and we've got to keep hope. We've got to keep hope alive. Realise that this is simply maybe a symptom of the changing times, and that the things you could buy in that bookshop are still on sale. They're just on the internet, and you can also order them from other bookshops. But it's just not the same. It's just not the same having this sort of like little community hub of non-conformism and this interest in these various subjects, and that's sad. I think that's what I miss. I am quite a traditionalist in many ways, and there's things that are not necessarily bad or sinister which have gone and they've disappeared simply because of changing technology and changing culture and society. And it's not necessarily bad that those things have gone. They won't do any harm. It's just there's something nice about those things, and there's something to miss, and I miss them. And this is example. The inner bookshop is one of those things. Anyway, Oxford's Bohemian Quarter is still Oxford's Bohemian Quarter. There's still the Magic Cafe. There's still the Buddhist Centre. There's still the other stuff, the art gallery and things like that, which I showed you in the background film. So it remains for me to say thanks for watching Hapanwo TV. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity, Stop the New World Order.